Hello, are we going? Hi, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you can hear me well. I hope I'm coming through to you loud and clear. Nice to see you all. Oh, I just realised my sticky tape is on the desk. Let me just get rid of that. There we are. Hello everyone, how are you getting on? You alright? I don't know whether the link's gone out to everyone. Hopefully it has. I did try and set it up beforehand. I see Vanders is in chat. Shout outs to you. I was just sticking up some lights because they fell down earlier. That's what that was. Hello to Vanders, the Nordic Doctor, Ian Drake, Steer, Starborn. I'm doing good because I'm watching Theories. That's based red-pilled compilation. Does this sound alright, by the way? Because it's saying the bit rate's too low, but it should be fine. But yeah, so this isn't going to be a particularly long stream. I basically just wanted to go over the filming at Pembrokeshire, or at least what little we've seen of the filming in Pembrokeshire, as well as potential detail. Well, not potential. Sophie Aldred recently got interviewed, and obviously Doctor Who was the main topic of conversation, and she discussed coming back for RTD2 and the possibility of an Ace spin-off in particular. Yes, I did see... Wait, is that what the announcement was? That makes sense. I knew it wasn't Doctor Who because we covered in yesterday's stream. It got deconfirmed. Big fan, love the content, even the cosplay bit should do more. Well, thank you. I appreciate that because the cosplay video did not do well. But that's fine, you know? It was one of my ones that I wanted to make. But yeah, so we're going to be going over the Pembrokeshire filming as well as Sophie Aldred's recent interview. Maybe a couple of other bits and bobs as well. Yeah, I'm going to be using Yahoo News as the main source for this because it's got most of the pictures in one place. But there have been a few new pictures since this article. But yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we? It's official. Doctor Who's TARDIS has landed in Pembrokeshire. I don't know why I keep saying it rolling my R's like Sylvester McCoy, but here we are. A TARDIS has appeared on the Pembrokeshire coast as filming takes place in the country for the cult BBC series Doctor Who. The much-loved BBC Wales show, yeah, that's right. I don't even think it's made by BBC Wales now, but yeah. It's not, it's made by Bad Wolf, but anyway. It's still cool that they refer to it as that. Which celebrates its 60th anniversary this year. It's currently being filmed near Proud Giltar between Penally and Lidstep. I think I'm saying those things right. I'm from Wales, I should know. The filming is for the new series of Doctor Who, which is set to air at Christmas 2023, and will feature the 15th Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, who was critically acclaimed for his role in sex education. So, first image, obviously, I'm going to be breaking this down. Obviously, there's not a huge amount to break down, but I want to go over it. Anyway, we have a shot of the TARDIS on the rocks. Now, I'm not the only one to say this. And I don't know whether anyone's going to agree with me, obviously, as well. Just to let you guys know, if you want to chat in chat, you got to make sure you're subscribed, because we had bots and spammers and things like that, and your name will come up on the screen if you subscribe, as well as if you super chat, which of course you don't have to, but it's an extra incentive. Anyway, talking about the box, I'm not the only one who's noticed this, and it could just be the lighting, in fairness. That's also a possibility, but to me at least, if I can get my tweet up... it looked like if you look at the TARDIS box, it sort of looks like a darker wash has been applied to it. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's just the lighting. That's a possibility. But a couple of people have noted that the colouring seems more in line with the original RTD TARDIS. Obviously, it's still the Whittaker era prop, but it looks potentially slightly darker than it has previously. It looks less greeny blue than previous. It looks more dark blue, which is nice. And I love the box in general. Even if it's not changed, you know, it still looks really nice. But, I don't know, it looks slightly different to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. But a TARDIS has appeared on the Pembrokeshire coast, we went over all that. And then the next bit, obviously, it's mainly just crew setting up on the Pembrokeshire coast. I think Millie Gibson might have been spotted. Apparently, Ncuti Gatwa was spotted, although I've not seen any pictures to suggest that he was there. As of yet, at least. Although, you know, with things like filming, it could always be that things will come out later on to confirm that he was, in fact, there. But yeah, we've got crew members setting up on the Pembrokeshire coastline here. You can sort of see equipment and various things here. Not much to go over there. Great activity on the coast path this morning. This is from Gareth David's Photography, who has tweeted a couple more, I think. This morning, Monday, January 23rd, vehicles and, of course, the TARDIS setup on a field at the coast. It has not been confirmed which cast members... Okay, so it wasn't confirmed at the time of writing this. And then we have this, which I'm not sure what the white stuff in the background is. Presumably just tarpaulin to, like, cover something, I'm going to guess. You can see cameras being set up there. I have no idea what that is. Extras, etc. Not extras, crew members. The production team are wrapped up warmly against the weather. Before setting up in Pembrokeshire, the crew were in Bristol, with the city's Clifton district featuring in the role of Notting Hill district of London. And then this one, so there was some speculation that the guy in this picture was Marc Tonderay, who's one of the directors, but that has been rebuted because it doesn't actually look anything like Marc Tonderay. Obviously, we know that Dylan Holmes-Williams is director of Block 1. We know that Marc Tonderay is also a director, though, so we assume he's going to be taking care of Block 2. Millie Gibson, who plays the Doctor's new companion, Ruby Sunday. But this was mainly just to do with the filming from yesterday. And then there's this, which I don't know who this guy is. I'm going to assume new character. Judging by the dress, as in the costume, I'm going to assume period-based. He kind of looks like Raven from that CBBC show, if anyone remembers that. No idea if that is what he is. I doubt it. But yeah, it kind of looks like period costuming, which is interesting. I mean, it's not the first time they've used sort of Welsh coastline to kind of replicate the past. So I'm going to assume a historical story. That's just my hunch. I don't expect this to be part of the same story as the Albion stuff and the Slug stuff and the Unit stuff, which has been kind of the majority of what we've seen in terms of the Doctor Who filming thus far. And then we had, can Doctor Who fans recognise this character? I can't. The BBC announced that Dobson, spotted in Bristol, will make a guest appearance. Also spotted in Bristol was Michelle Greenwich. Okay, I didn't see this. On Friday, it's confirmed that the It's Sid actor was also a part of the... Oh, okay, so she was spotted then. Interesting. Gemma Redgrave returns as Kate Stewart. We know that. And Aaron Bernard. Temby has previously been flagged in Doctor Who according to TARDIS.fandom.com. The resort featured in the 2005 series. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know whether that's still happening. I'm going to assume so. People seem pretty confident on Temby. And then we can see here famous PKE lighting. There is some speculation that the blonde person here, if I zoom in, is Millie Gibson. Let me see if I can get the right good angle on it. But I haven't seen confirmation of that either way, although it's very possible. You know, the problem is, Millie from a distance, it would just look like any blonde person, so it's hard to tell, you know, either way, but yeah. And then a temporary floor has been laid for ease of vehicle access. So we don't have any idea, you know, as to, I'm assuming, like, this was mostly taken in the morning, so I'm going to hazard a guess as to, you know, if they were just filming today, they'd mostly have wrapped by now, although I'm not sure. I think it's just the light. Oh, you mean the TARDIS? Yeah, it could well just be the light, in fairness. Hi there, my dad owns BBC and he said, you will regenerate in the 60th. Goddamn. Well, what's the spin-off talk? That's what we're going to be getting to next. That's going to be the next topic of conversation. Yeah, that bot loves it here. It's really annoying, but thank you to Atmos for taking care of that. One of our lovely moderators. But yeah, overall, it's not been a huge deal of a great deal of filming, but like just a little bit. There has also been this additional image from Gareth Davis Photography, which is actually really, really nice. A really nice shot. Yeah, no, there is something about it. The lighting's different here, and it does look darker to me. Am I the only one seeing it? I swear it looks darker, in my opinion. This is a really nice screensaver, actually, with the bird. It's a really nice picture, but credit to Gareth Davis Photography over on Twitter. I might go give him a follow just to encourage that. But yeah, very nice photo of the TARDIS. I'm really glad that they've kept the Whittaker box. Actually, I think that's really good. It's probably one of the best boxes the previous era's had. I reckon I'm not sure about pure historical, but I reckon they might be filming a historical. Whether that is pure, we'll have to wait and see, or whether it's more than likely going to involve some sort of alien. To be honest, in my personal opinion, I love RTD's era in general, but I wouldn't say the historicals are particularly his strong point. That's not to say that they're bad. I don't know why my voice sounds weird today, but that's not to say that they're bad. But personally for me, they're never been my favourites in his era. You know, I think that's, I don't know whether that's that controversial. I still stand by, you know, the best new series historical is Vincent the Doctor by quite a ways. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing that. N4NO Raccoon says, I want more alien worlds. I think you will get that. I think the thing is, it's hard to gauge that at the moment because a lot of alien worlds will be filmed inside, you know? Whittaker Best Mod Box. Oh yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. Don't get me wrong, I'm not even someone who hates the, you know, the other new series boxes, but undoubtedly the Whittaker box is the nicest looking new series one. My only stipulation would be I'd have liked to have seen the window panels turn to like white. There is puberty era. I'm nearly 20. This shouldn't be happening. Do you think Shooty's box will change when we have that regeneration? What, from Tennant to Shooty? No, I doubt it. I reckon, unless you mean his regeneration, which I would imagine would be quite a ways away. But I do agree. I think it looks really good. Fires of Pompeii is the best historical. Oh yeah, I forgot about Fires of Pompeii. Fires of Pompeii would be the best in that era, but I still think overall, I'd give it to Vincent the Doctor. But anyway, the next thing I wanted to discuss was this. Sophie Aldred recently did an interview for The Express, where she was discussing being on screen in Power of the Doctor, and inevitably she was asked, you know, the questions about RTD and spin-off rumours and all that stuff. So Doctor Who star burst into tears after being asked to return after 30 years. One of the show's classic companions opened up about being back to the BBC series. Doctor Who actress Sophie Aldred has spoken up about being asked to come back to the BBC series after 3 decades. Aldred, age 60, portrayed companion Ace opposite Sylvester McCoy's 7th Doctor in the long-running series between 1987 and 89. The London-born actress reprised her role as Ace in the 2022 episode The Power of the Doctor as part of the BBC's 100-year celebrations, as we know. In exclusive interview with The Express, Aldred said, it was what I'd call... It was the call I'd always been waiting for. She went on to say, I ended the call and burst into tears and described it as a magic moment being asked back. Aldred and fellow Doctor Who actress Janet Fielding, better known as Tegan Jovanka, both came back to the show alongside their respective Time Lords McCoy and Peter Davison. Even though Aldred became part of Doctor Who, has been part of Doctor Who world through the ever-popular Big Finish audio dramas and the convention circuit, her turn in Power of the Doctor was a true return to the franchise for the actress. She also addressed donning Ace's famous baseball bomber jacket again, not baseball bomber jacket, but bomber jacket, revealing she'd actually had the original one after Doctor Who showrunner at the time, John Nathan Turner, told her and the rest of the cast to hold on to their costumes amid the 1989 cancellation. That's actually true, which is really nice. So I've had that jacket hanging in my cupboard all these years and occasionally brought it out when people asked at conventions and things, which is really cool. Reflecting on teaming up with McCoy once more, Aldred said, working with Sylvester was an absolute dream. Obviously, we worked together on a lot in the intervening years, and I'm pleased and forever thankful to call him one of my very best pals still. She said it was a really moving moment for the pair to be reading lines together and filming in the studio. Aldred also reflected on the key differences between filming in the 1980s versus now, admitting some things had strangely remained the same. It was a very similar atmosphere, she said, but there was one key difference: rehearsals. When we worked on Doctor Who, there was rehearsal time before the cast got in front of the camera, something of a rarity in today's fast-paced era of television making. It's weird how that comes full circle in a way, because it's kind of one of the things that's always said in the 60s is they had to do it as a live performance, basically. They couldn't really have any edits, and they didn't really have much time to rehearse stuff, but now it's kind of gone the other way, but the difference is editing, I guess, has picked up the slack. The first day I did on my own was a bit terrifying. After meeting everyone, she felt a sense of familiarity with the crew. On a practical level, the cameras and filming equipment were much smaller than during her time on Doctor Who. Added that the special effects, which were notoriously low budget previously, I think it provided fans with something they'd been waiting for, she said about the episode, or etc, etc. What the bit I want to get to is, sadly, Aldred confirmed she wouldn't be in the 60th anniversary celebrations this year, as it was already done and dusted, but was still happy to have been part of the BBC 100 episode. Weighing on whether she'd like to appear in an Ace spin-off, Aldred said, "I mean, yes. Come on. I think I've got everything crossed that Russell T Davies is thinking, oh yes, he's playing his cards very close to his chest." Aldred is now busy working on some other projects, including returning to Doctor Who conventions, which are taking her to America, New Zealand, and Australia, as well as working on some new audio books. So yeah, she's basically said, you know, I'd be down for like the likes of, you know, a spin-off or things like that. Editing and the time to do retakes. Yeah, exactly. Are my emails on screen? How? Wait, how are my emails on screen? They shouldn't be. Don't scare me like that. Are they? Hello. But yeah, she seems very open to come back. I kind of guessed that she wouldn't be in the 60th, unless she is lying, which I have reason to doubt at the moment, mainly because, like, I just don't see her coming back immediately after Power. However, with that being said, I could 100% see... Oh, my email address. Oh, I see. Hold on. Yeah, I think, to be fair, my email address is public for, sort of, what do you call it, like business inquiries and stuff. That's fine. I was going to say, yeah, email address, that's not as bad. That's fine. We're okay. My main one is public knowledge anyway, because it's on the little About Pet section on the channel. I don't mind that too much. No, she's not going to be in the 60th. She said she wasn't. But she did say that she would be more than happy to return under Russell. There was something else I wanted to talk about, though, which is what I wanted to wrap up the stream with. And I'm probably going to make this into a separate video at a later point. But there's actually been, obviously, you know me. I love me some Reddit, and we covered one of the latest sort of things we covered one of the latest things on Reddit recently, and I kind of tore it to shreds a little bit. I was kind of very much making fun of it. Obviously, I know a lot of people say, like, why do you cover them? It's like, I cover them to dissect them. I don't cover them with the expressed opinion that they're necessarily true. I mean, even in the title of the last video, the word leak is in quotations. But I saw a rather interesting one that was posted 22 hours ago, which is extremely in-depth. And the only reason I wanted to cover it is because I wanted to, like, basically give it airtime, because this one feels a lot more feasible and also is extremely in-depth. So if you guys want me to talk about that, hopefully you will let me cover that. Oh. Who just subscribed? Thank you too. I didn't see who it was. Michael Gracie, thank you. Is my audio alright, or is it peaking? I hope it's alright. Sary's well-known Reddit lover. That's true. I famously very much a Redditor. That actually probably sounds worse, actually. No, I hate Reddit. Anyway, yeah. I wanted to read this because why not? Well, I say, and it's called Yet Another Doctor Who Leak, and it's posted by, or Yet Another Leak, and it's posted by Yet Another Leak 22 hours ago. When I say leak, but I imagine most of this is a bit obvious, as a leaker, I'm one of the knows a few people ilk rather than directly involved, so I only know broad strokes, rather than the exact intimate details of what will happen in Series 16, because I don't even think Russell knows that yet, lol. What I do know is the following. So basically the episodes filming right now are episode 4 and 5. That's what I've heard at least. I at least heard the name episode 4, or the phrase episode 4 being bandied about, so that makes sense. At least episode 4 is written by RTD, and I'm fairly sure it's a two-parter, based on what I've heard. I think it's apparent to anyone who's looked at the filming photos that it's basically an Aliens of London, Lazarus Experiments on Taran Stratagem type episode, where the companion returns to Earth after travels in time and space, okay? In regards to the politician angle, I do know that Roger character is working alongside those slug creatures we've seen from filming. I know those are the same episode. I don't actually know. Thank you for subscribing. Hold on, let me just Thank you for subscribing. Elite Colsey 78, I think that was. Thank you. I think we're only about 20 odd subscribers from 19,100, so any support would be greatly appreciated on that front. I do know that the Roger character is working alongside those slug creatures we've seen from filming. I know those are the same episode. I don't actually know though if the Kate Stewart Return to Earth episode, which I do know is episode 4, is the same episode though, or if they are a two-parter. Okay. I also am of the understanding that the plot of episode 4 pertains to some degree people being on their phones and not observing the world around them. One of my people I know has read the script for the episode twice. First time they thought it was Riverdale-esque and not in a good way. Oh, but now they're saying RTD is a genius after having reread it. Make of that what you will. And as RTD said in DDM, Block 2 is the Christmas episode, but what he doesn't mention is that Millie Gibson's Ruby doesn't appear in the episode, and it's a temporary companion, much like some of the specials in RTD1. That's interesting. A temporary interim companion. That's very interesting. Interestingly, I don't know much about the centenary specials. I'm assuming they mean 60th and just used the wrong word. Although I'm pretty sure that...
You will become like us.
Thank you to Lucia, Animal Lover, for becoming a member. I forget what my prompts are. Wait, hold on. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so they said, interesting, I don't know much about the centenary specials, which I think they mean 60th. I can say with pretty much certainty that the rumour of Bonnie Langford is true. We've heard the Bonnie Langford rumour a few times now, and that she'll appear in episode 2. It's also been suggested that she might be part of a unit spin-off, and I'm 99.9% sure Carol Ann Ford will appear as Susan at the end of the 60s specials, another rumour that I've heard as well, and that seems quite legitimate, before Tennant regenerates into Gatwa. The gist is that Tennant 14 is mortally wounded by the Toymaker. Then it seems like the Doctor will die before the Toymaker taunts the Doctor with a ghost of Susan, which somehow manages to convince the Doctor to regenerate again. It wasn't explained to me very well, but that's basically what I think they were telling me. In the other leak post, they mentioned about it being referred to Series 1. I'm pretty sure that's not true. However, internally it is being referred to as Series 1, the same way that Moffat did for Series 5, I believe. That makes much more sense to me. I literally know very little about Millie Gibson's portrayal of the new companion, aside from her apparently being very good. Helpful, I know. Lol. Another thing which makes sense after I've explained Ncuti's interpretation. For Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor, I've heard a thing or two. I wouldn't be surprised if the gay angle was true, but I've actually heard far more about the black angle of the casting. And yes, that will explore the latter in either episode 4 or 5. One person mentioned it will be how the far-right organisation will interact with the Doctor when this comes into play. Oh, interesting. As for this interpretation of the Doctor, he's doing an interesting sort of balancing act, apparently. At once, it's a very flippant, witty performance, but at the same time, there's an age maturity to it and an odd kindness belying the flippancy. He can also be terrifyingly commanding, not even in a scary way, but an unusual, natural command. We're moving away from the social ineptness of Capaldi and Whittaker, I've been told, and more towards the kind of eccentricity that Tom Baker and David Tennant displayed. Supposedly a very similar scene to one from the Pirate Planet, where the Doctor yells at the captain, "What's it all for?" happens to the politician in the episode. Sorry if that's a bit of a deep cut. I have no idea the context for that scene, but there we are. However, in spite of this, the Doctor has a hope for humanity in a way, almost infantilizing them. A bit like in RTD's original era. However, and this is where the thing I mentioned about the new companion comes into play, Millie Gibson's character almost starts questioning this, especially as many of the episodes are highly critical of our modern world and the greed of humanity. I'm told that the series arc, if there is one, is basically that. Yes, it's completely nihilistic and pretty bleak, but I think it completely fits our modern world and RTD's vision for the show. Anyway, sorry I haven't been saying anything interesting. No, I don't know if the Rani's coming back. I don't know if Sacha Dhawan will reprise his role as the Master. But regardless, to me, I think the new story arc should tell us far more about this new era. Will be like, rather than Omega is back. Rather than if Omega's back. Yeah. So, personally, precisely because this leak has said more reasonable things is what... I know it's source, do trust me, but precisely because this has said more reasonable things, and because it said things that I've heard kind of on the grapevine, and the way it's incorporated them sounds reasonable as well. I'm leaning more towards this having a lot more legitimacy than previous ones. Also, yes, do like the stream. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. But yeah, overall, I think it's really solid. I know a lot of people say fake, fair enough. I think it has some weight to it. I've heard a lot of the rumours about the social media angle, especially from people who apparently, you know, again, people who know people type thing. But it's, yeah, that's the thing. They've not been ridiculous or said, oh, the monk's coming back. Rassilon's coming back. They've been very, very kind of candid and said, look, here's what I know, here's what I don't. And those are the ones that tend to be more realistic. The Susan thing, her appearing as a ghost, that's the sort of minor cameo role that I would have expected her to play. Admittedly, I'd be a bit disappointed if that's all she did. If they did get Caroline Ford as, Susan back, and they didn't really have a full-on reconciliation. However, at the same time, it is a good way of incorporating it into the current narrative, and like, if there's anyone that would encourage the Doctor to carry on moving forward, it would be his granddaughter. Yeah. I also love the idea of them kind of getting a little bit away from the sort of, oh, I don't know how to deal with social situations, which honestly was kind of started with Smith, even though I love it. You know, with Capaldi Whitaker, or Whitaker especially, that whole socially awkward thing did feel a bit played out to me. So I'm glad that we're sort of moving away from that angle. I think, I believe that. Yeah, the whole thing about an interim companion as well, I kind of believe. I'll be honest, I regard these Reddit leaks as the same as I regard pictures of real ghosts. You know what? That's a fair enough way of viewing them. The only reason I cover them is, like I say, I think they're fun to dissect. I also think sometimes they do have some weight behind them. You know? And then sometimes they do not. But, you know, that's why we cover them, to find out which ones are the real ones and which ones aren't. But from my end, at least, that had a lot more weight to it than previous ones that I've read. I also like the idea of the, like, social media and political angles. I know that someone said in chat, like, oh, I hope it's not cringe. Personally, having seen years and years, I think that Russell knows how to handle stuff like that with a relative sense of, I guess, you know, nuance to it. What do you think the Doctor Who socials are counting down to? Honestly, I don't think they're counting down to anything. That might sound a bit weird, but I think they're honestly just doing one a month to, like, because, you know, you might get a couple more images of 14 at the end of this current one, but I don't think you'll get anything big. That's my hot take on that. Know what I want from Shooty, and no nonsense, completely confident in their own right ability and who they are as the Doctor. Not Time Lord victorious, Pyro Baseby, but like confidence. I want that, but I also want a bit of the blend of the kind of affable, quirky side that Smith had, but just a bit less. I think you can balance those things quite well, and I think he probably will. I find RTD the weakest writer of Doctor Who. I strongly disagree, but hey, that's your viewpoint. Shigeru seems like a really sure of himself kind of guy, and oozes a real presence. It would be kind of jarring if they see him playing ooh social situation scare me Doctor, yeah. I don't think that's what they're going with at all. I totally buy them going in a more Tom Baker-ish direction with it, where he's got the eccentricity, but also he can play those scenes where it's like, you don't want to mess with him kind of thing. And I think it's a really interesting angle as well to have the whole, oh, so he's kind of babying humanity in a way, and perhaps, like, Millie Gibson's character feels a little bit kind of alienated in her own way because of that. I think that's very interesting, and could make for some really good drama. Could make for some very good drama. Sorry if you just heard a toilet flushing. Someone just used my restroom, but that's okay. Hey, Theres, I have something to tell you. Okay? The suspense is building. If it's something ableist, you will be banned. I'm not saying it is, but it's, you know, sometimes that happens, regrettably. I think Moffat was the better Uriah. I think on Moffat's best day, he could probably best one of Russell's best scripts, right? However, I would say that if you want to talk consistency, I think, in terms of new Who writers at least, Russell is by far the most consistently strong. In my personal opinion, that's how I would categorize it. I hope they have a scene where Shooty gets to do his iconic laugh. Oh yeah, they definitely will. You know the memes of the Doctor, but it's clips from Saxa? I just want that. A Dalek comes to the scene and she's like, okay, not wow, not now. Yeah, like, it's like, okay, not now. Yeah, I get you. I want 14 to be a confident eccentric like 4, saying stuff like, you are a prime example of the inverse ratio between the size of the brain and the size of the mouth. Yes. The way I sum it up, writers, is RTD basic, Moffat creative, Chibs imaginative. I disagree, but fair enough. Yeah, I think that's a good way of summing it up. Moffat the better episode writer, RTD the better showrunner. I think if you did get those two together again, I'd be overjoyed with happiness. But I still think, given the current climate that we're in, RTD was like the best we could have got, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's about all I want to cover. I didn't want to do a particularly long stream today, because I have things to do. I don't. I'm just tired. My wife is disabled. God help anyone who disses her. She's scary. Yeah, man. You don't want to get on our wrong side. Moffat is better at creative villains. RTD is better at writing. I do like a lot of RTD. I do like a lot of Moffat's original villains. Although I think I'll tell you one thing I think RTD is very good at is making things toyetic and merchandisable. Obviously, I'm not going to say he did the design work on every villain because he, you know, very likely didn't. But like, you look at I'm using RTD as like sort of umbrella term for the things in his era. When you look at things like the Ood, the like Adipose, the Slitheen, you know, all of that, it's very toyetic, very merchandisable, very like sort of stuff like that. They got to add the Doctor to Fortnite. I reckon that's happening this year. I've seen rumors about like a proper Fortnite collaboration, not like the little one they did last year, but like a proper one for like ages. I'm reckoning that's going to happen this year to coincide with the 60th anniversary. I'd be shocked if it didn't, just because of how many times I've heard that floating about, and from like decent places as well, you know, like. Moffat is good at demonizing comophobia. Oh, it's in terms of using them to create compelling narratives? 100%, yeah. Like, absolutely. Absolutely. He's like, he can make anything scary, that man. He's already in Fall Guys. He is. 14 is already in Fall Guys. Playing as Talent in Fortnite would be pretty funny. It is going to be weird if they ever do like a Fortnite cross. Do? Who's the girl in the photo of Wakanda? It's Louise Jameson. I won the signed picture in a Mr. TARDIS charity live stream raffle thing. So it's nothing that exciting. It's literally just a Doctor Who companion. Do you think we will get a 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver toy release? Oh yeah, 100%. He could make butter into a Doctor Who villain, yeah. Man-made shadows scary, yeah. No, Moffat, I've said this before, man, and I'll say it again. Moffat got way too much, you know, way too much crap in his day. You know, he didn't deserve half the stuff he got, that man, in my opinion. Well, you know, obviously there's some criticism that was warranted, of course, but I just mean, like, when you look into, like, the sort of behind-the-scenes stuff and how many plates he was trying to spin to keep that show alive, you kind of feel bad for the guy, you know? If you had to pick any Whittaker character as a figure, who would you pick? I mean, it's got to be Sasha Dawn's Master. He's earned it. Although, part of me would want to say the new Cyberman design or the Revolution Dalek, just because I think they would be cool toys, to be fair. And I kind of want a new Cyberman on my list, on my like little shelf, because I've got a little shelf of all of them in a row, and it's not been updated since the Cybers ones, and I kind of like I want something to put next to the Cybers ones, but yeah, as of right now, we do not, unfortunately. Hello, Theories. Hello, Nina Ray. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up, but thank you all for watching. We're about, obviously, I know that I keep saying it, we've only got 19 subscribers to go until we hit 19,100, conveniently enough. So any support we greatly appreciate on that front. If you're watching this back as a VOD, then yeah, do that. Bring back Tim Shaw for the lols. Honestly, I feel like even Russell could like try and, you know, do that. Hopes for a new Dalek design. I'll do this one quickly. I'd say I'd want a more sleek, refined design to contrast with the Time War's relatively riveted and bolted and rusted style. I'd want something more Peter Cushing movie-esque as opposed to the what do you call it? Like the sort of rusted aspects of the Time War ones. Does that make sense? Those who've even collecting the Forbidden Planet 60th Anniversary Collection. I haven't really. Not many other shirts have appealed to me, to be honest. If they do a regular RTD2 logo shirt, I will 100% do that. But, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up. But thank you all for tuning in. Please like the stream if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Talk about them. Oh, yes. Oh, you keep reminding me of things. Yeah, no. The Season 9 Blu-ray, I think I talked about that last stream briefly. But yeah, the Season 9 Blu-ray has, well, I mean, the cover hasn't leaked, but basically there's a bunch of retailers listing the Season 9 Blu-ray as the next one. Try to get to 60k subs before the 60th. I'd love to do that. Whether it'll happen. They do a 60th logo tea, do they? Hold on. I'm Googling this. I know I keep saying I'm going to leave, so everyone's leaving, but I'm still here. Hold on. Forbidden Planet. I'm Googling this. No, not Forbidden Plane. Forbidden Planet. Alright. Did you do a regular, like, T of the logo? Doctor Who. Because I will buy it. Because I know they do the big diamondy one, but that's like for the 60th. I want like, I know they do this one, but I want one that's not that. I want one that's just the normal logo, you know? Although I guess I could always have both. I know that they do it on a beanie, but I don't want a beanie. I don't wear beanies. Who do they think I am, Ryan? Oh, that's cool. 60th anniversary art print with all the different TARDISes. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not seeing any like diamond tea that's not the 60th one. Which is a shame because I would buy that. Well, they do a lot. Yeah. Nah, I can't see it. But that's, you know, I'm sure they will eventually. But yeah, I am going to leave. That's what I keep saying. I keep saying I'm going to leave and then I don't. That was the one I was on about. Sorry. Yeah, I thought so. I might get that one. I just would rather have the regular logo, personally. Although, you know, maybe I'm sure they'll do one eventually. But yeah, I've pre-ordered all of them so far. Fair enough. I don't think I have the money for that. Darius consumes Doctor Who merch on the stream. Yeah, I kept going closer and closer to the stream to look. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.